Hey, good morning. This is Stephen Galindo with some sacred wisdom, and I hope that you're doing great today, and that you're looking forward to this day, no matter what you may be facing in life. There's something that I wanted to share with you very briefly this morning, and it's this. We have a choice in life to live in one of two different houses. You can either live in a house of faith, or you can live in a house of fear. Now, the house of faith is ruled over by the Lord. The house of fear is ruled over by the devil. You could say the devil lives in the house of fear and God lives in the house of faith. All of us have an opportunity to decide which house we're going to live in. You can either live in a house of faith, which is ruled over by the Prince of Peace, and live in peace, or you can live in the house of fear, which is ruled over by the devil, where there's chaos and confusion and all sorts of things that keep you up at night. And when I was little, I lived under a lot of fear. Now that I'm an adult, I don't have that much fear in my life. And a large part of the reason is because over 30 years ago, I moved. I packed up what little I owned and I moved out of the house of fear. I crossed the street and I moved into the house of faith. I left my old landlord, Satan, and I met my new landlord, Jesus. I tell you what, life is a lot better in the house of faith, in the house of peace, in the house of order and organization, and a house of function as opposed to a house of dysfunction. I want to encourage you. If you are living in depression, if you're living in dysfunction, if you're living in bondage, if you're living in fear, you don't have the right address. Not if you're a Christian. One of the saddest things I've ever seen is Christian believers who live in the house of fear. I would encourage you, pack what little belongings you own, say goodbye to your current landlord, and move across the street. Move into the house of faith. I think you need to remind yourself, if you're a child of God, who you are and whose you are, who you belong to. Christians don't belong in a house of fear. That's where Satan's children live. Christians belong in a house of faith because that's where God lives. And I encourage you, if you're not a Christian, you can become one real quick. Just confess your sins to God and ask Him to forgive you. Receive Christ as the King over your life and move into the house of faith today. Start living in the blessings that were designed for you, not in the curses that the devil has for you. Hey, share this video with as many people as you can. I'm still working on my book, Overcoming Depression, The Bible Path to Freedom and Joy. And as soon as I get it published, get it edited, I'll let you know. Please share this with as many folks as you can on the internet. People need to get out of fear and get into faith. And you can help them do that by letting them see this video. This is Sacred Wisdom. I'm Steve Galindo, pastor of Alba Friends Church, and I'll be back in just a little while.